Welcome back to DwreckTV, everybody. I'm Dwreck, and today I'm going to be drawing my last X-Men character for quite some time. And I gotta say, for the last few months, it feels like almost a year that I've been drawing on DwreckTV, and I gotta tell y'all, it's been the most fun I've ever had doing DwreckTV in like probably all my history, because I actually get to draw and actually get to do something constructive as opposed to just talking shit about the problems and complaining about everything and complaining about politics and complaining about people talking about problems. And it's like, it's just a constant cycle of just people talking problems after problems and not finding solutions, whether it be in politics, whether it be in video games, whether it be in pro wrestling or movies or entertainment and things of that nature. I just said, you know what, I'm done. I just want to draw. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the last few months, almost close to a year. I know I do like a few other videos here and there, but I love to draw. And then my wife got me drawing the X-Men, and I just took off with that. And I said I never really wanted to draw any Marvel or DC characters, but drawing these has just been a blast. I really love drawing the X-Men. And with that being said, I'm going to be drawing the last character for a little while, and that is the man himself, Professor Xavier. Where you at, Charles? So, that being said, let's get to drawing and inking and coloring Charles Xavier himself, Professor X. And there he is. I drew him up ahead of time, and I think he looks pretty cool. I know his little, I call it his wheelchair, but his chair is kind of small, but I want to try to fit it all in on the paper. But I think he looks pretty cool. What y'all think? I think he's going to look a lot better once he's all inked up and colored. So, let's get to inking Charles Xavier. I'll tell y'all what, drawing the X-Men has been an absolute blast, and I absolutely loved it. Every minute of drawing each of these characters has been a blast. And I'll tell you what, drawing Professor X, I thought he would be easy, but drawing his wheelchair was a chore because I'm not used to drawing vehicles. Like, trying to draw a vehicle is like, oh my goodness. But I think it came out pretty good for the limited space that I have. That's pretty good. Come back for his facial features with it's gonna be behind his head.
Professor Xavier, the man himself, the leader of the X-Men. I will get to the villains later. Like, I know I want to draw Magneto, I want to draw the Juggernaut, I want to draw Avalanche, and even my wife was telling me to draw Colossus. I thought, yeah, I can draw Colossus. It's funny how my wife knows more about this stuff than I do. I got an amazing wife. My wife is amazing. It's funny how I know more things that she does, but then there's also some things that she knows more about than I do. I love our dynamic. Been a while since I drew business suits because in my original comic book, the main villain wears a suit, so pretty easy drawing a suit like this. But drawing Professor Xavier, Professor X, was pretty straightforward and to the point, up until I got to his chair. But I really love drawing these characters. I know I say that a lot, but I really do love drawing these characters. He's pointing at you. He's pointing at you. He's pointing at the camera. I know I draw 4 fingers on characters. I just pretended the pinky's there because I tried drawing 5 fingers on characters. They just come out looking weird. So I just tend to stick with the 4-finger layout. I think I might be running out of ink on this ink pen. Number 5 starting. I think number 5 starting to have it. It's had its day. I might have to get another one. That's fine. They're not that expensive. Yeah, 8 works a lot better. Especially for clothes and for ligaments and everything. Like for the facial features, I like to use a fainter ink so that way it's not so bulked, it's not so bold. It goes into their skin, into their faces and such, and their wrinkles and everything. That should do it. I'm gonna get this tie in post. Well, I'm gonna get to it in a little bit when I start to color them up. I'm gonna use the black marker for that. I really hope this thing comes out pretty good. Because like I said, it's like drawing a vehicle, not used to drawing vehicles. if I draw a vehicle, it's gonna look like an old-timey, cartoony style vehicle. I'm not used to drawing like full out like Lamborghinis and like Chevy Colorados or Chevy Novas. My vehicles look like old style Model Ts or like some that you'll see on Rocko's Modern Life. I'd rather draw vehicles like that, ones that's like easy to draw and like not so stressful to draw, because then you're gonna get like some vehicle buffs saying like, that's not accurate, man, that's not accurate. Well, if you know me, my vehicle, I'm not intended to be accurate. It's just to give the idea of like, okay, this is a vehicle. People just need to lay off me. Let me draw the way I want to draw. But I think this came out pretty cool for my first time drawing this. What y'all think? Leave a comment below. Should I put that there? Yeah. Alright, this one was pretty tricky. I know I'm not talking too much right now because I'm just, concentrating on drawing Professor his chair. Oh, Charles. Where you at, Charles? Freaking Juggernaut. I'll never hear Professor X's name the same again after the freaking Juggernaut. Where you at, Charles? And yes, I will get to the Juggernaut eventually. And I will get to Magneto eventually, because I already did Mystique, so that's going to be an indication that Magneto is going to be next soon. Not now, but maybe like sometime later in the year I'll get back to drawing X-Men characters. But there's just some other characters and some other things that I would love to draw. I just wanted to do the mainline X-Men characters first. Okay, I think Charles came out looking good. Okay, I'm gonna ink him up, and then I'm gonna get to coloring up Professor Xavier himself. Right, he's all inked up. Now, let's get to coloring him. And if you're watching this, I would like for y'all to leave comments to see what character would y'all like to see DwreckTV draw next, because I am very much open to suggestions, and I'm also open for commissions. So if y'all ever like me to draw something for y'all, I have a fee, and we can negotiate prices in the DMs. So, if y'all ever got any ideas y'all want to see me draw, leave it in the comments below. I am always down for suggestions because my wife suggested me draw the X-Men, and I've done it, and I've just had an absolute blast drawing these characters. And I know everybody's just anxious for me to go back to video game talk and everything. All in due time, people. All in due time. I love doing things like this. And some people are probably thinking like, why I don't do daily videos. Well, I tried doing daily videos and I rarely get much views, so I just rather just do weekly videos and save daily videos for like a special occasion, especially if I was doing like ranking every WrestleMania, ranking every Starcade and Bound for Glory. I noticed that the views don't carry over, so I'd rather just do videos weekly on a Friday. And yeah, that's why, because people don't watch, the views don't add up, so that's it. That's the decision why I don't do daily videos. But I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not too worried about views. I'm just like, if y'all like the video, y'all like the video. I'm just doing this because I enjoy it. I really enjoy doing this. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, love drawing like this. But like I said, yes, I will get back to video game stuff and wrestling stuff and things of that nature. I am really looking forward to the Mario Bros. Movie. I'm even interested in seeing the Street Fighter movie, even though most of the characters don't look very accurate to how they're supposed to look. I would have much rather them use CGI and have those people that they have as the characters do their voices, as opposed to like cosplaying as them. Because to me, like, back when video games used to get like live action movies, it was a big deal. Like seeing these characters come to life and seeing the actors bring them to life and everything. Like they were those characters. They were like, you see the guy that plays Liu Kang, you don't remember his name, but you remember as Liu Kang. The guy that plays Johnny Cage, you don't remember him unless you see him Johnny Cage, or even Sonya Blade, or the guy that plays Shang Tsung, or even the guy that played Shao Kahn, even though he was on Cobra and he was on Terminator 2 for like a cameo appearance, but you have always known him as Shao Kahn. You know what I'm saying? And these characters, it just seems like they're just glorified cosplay. But I've seen better cosplayers at Comic-Cons have better costumes than most movies do, so it's like, yeah. But I'll go see it anyway, just to see how good or bad it's gonna be. But I'm not expecting anything spectacular. I would say that animated movie, the Street Fighter 2 animated movie, was way better than the first live action one. But the first live action one was entertaining, even though Jean-Claude Van Damme was Guile and Gomez Adams was M. Bison. That was kind of a head scratcher, but they made it. It was entertaining. I would watch it again. but it was kind of a head scratcher that Guile was like one of the main focus characters as opposed to Ken and Ryu. And Blanca just looked eh. And Cammy looked nothing like Cammy. But Zangief and E Honda all looked pretty cool. Even Sagat looked pretty cool in that movie. But how are they gonna fare in this new one? Who knows? I'm excited and scared all at once. But I have no hope for it. So, that being said, oh well. Almost seems like this would be like a blue. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, this looks a little better. It's gotta be a blue color. And I'm hoping that I inspire a lot of you kids and a lot of other artists that love to draw and color and everything. Everybody get out y'all colors and markers and pencils and all that good stuff. We can all color together. I love it. I love doing this. I really love doing this. Like I said, I could be one of those people that just talks so much shit and talks so much about the problems of the internet, all the problems of entertainment, politics, the video games and wrestling and movies, and how so much shit is how shitty shit is. And just video after video, and having so many of these dumbass thumbnails that just like promote like the apocalypse and just everything going to shit. I'd rather just do things like this. I could do that, but I choose not to because I'm 40 years old. I'm about to be 41 this month, and I'm too old for this shit. I'd rather just do this. But it just seems like it's so hard for everybody else to do it, because it's like if they can't talk about the problems of the internet, they can't talk about the problems of entertainment, video games, and etc., etc. And it's like, and if they find solutions, it's over for them. Like they won't be getting no money. They can't get no money because I think that's what drives them. That's why they talk so much about the problems of everything, is because they get paid to do it. I would never want to get paid just to talk about the problems of entertainment and not find solutions. I would find a solution, but it's like the second they find a solution and go with it, then it's over for them. I figured that out, and I refuse to ever delve into that. Yeah, I know there's money to be made in it, but I don't want that money. I don't want that kind of money. I would never sell myself out to such depraved and ridiculous circumstances. I would never do something like that. Because if I did that, I would be a miserable human being. I could about imagine what these people would be like outside of YouTube and outside of their cameras and their comfort zones and everything. They gotta be like the most miserable human beings. I could about imagine what most of their wives or girlfriends would be like saying that ever since they started talking about things like this, they just changed. But then again, who knows? They might be chill. They might be like Charlie Kirk and just turn their phones off on one day and just be with their families. Like they just be on their phone for a little bit and then say what they want to say and then get off and then just be with their families. Who knows? But I'm just saying, like, if I was ever to do something like this, I would have high blood pressure. I would need to see therapists. My wife would be upset with me because I let stuff like this just ruin my life. I would never ruin my life talking about problems and not finding solutions. So that's all I gotta say about that. This is so much fun. I'm having so much fun right now. I know I say that a lot, but I genuinely mean it. I just wish a lot of people did things like this. Just pick up a hobby, leave the problems of the world behind, or problems that they either can't fix themselves, or something that can't be fixed, or like I'm just waiting on these people to just start a riot and start a revolution at the offices of these companies that they talk so much of the problems of. But will they do that? Probably not, because that's too much for them. They can't lose their reputations, they can't lose their fans or lose their monetizations and such. Give me a break. I've been on YouTube since 2006. Been doing videos since 2008. I've never had to worry about monetizations and such. And I never plan on it. Because I figured out that if I ever got monetized on YouTube, I would lose my freedom. Like, I would lose the freedom to do whatever I want to do, to use songs, use anything. Because even though I can create my own stuff and everything, I like to just have fun like how we used to do in the early days of YouTube, especially with YouTube poops and such. Like, yeah, I have my freedom. I can't make money off YouTube. I don't care because I got a job to do all that. I have an actual job. But if I ever got monetized, make money off the videos I do, then I would lose my freedom. And I refuse to sell out my freedom on YouTube for money. And then it's probably gonna be paid in pennies. And people and YouTubers have to meet like quotas to put out certain content in a certain amount of time and crap like that. I said forget that crap. And with all that being said, Professor Xavier is all drawn out. Let's get his eyebrows first. His eyebrows. There he is. There's Charles. Professor Xavier is all drawn out. There he is. Professor Xavier. I think he came out looking really cool. What y'all think? I know his chair is not as accurate as they would be in like other forms of material and everything, but I think it came out pretty cool. What y'all think? He looks really cool. And yep, there he is. That's it for the X-Men for a little bit. So I hope y'all enjoyed everything. Hope y'all enjoyed me drawing the X-Men. And
I will get back to them later, but right now I need to get some sleep. And stay tuned next time. Who will I draw next? Who knows? I don't even know. But that's the exciting part. You gotta find out what is DwreckTV gonna draw next week or in the next couple weeks. What could it be? Find out next time on DwreckTV. So, with that being said, this is Dwreck signing out. See y'all on the flip side, and take care.